Today we have a very special video. I'm joined with a guest today. It's just not me arguing with you guys in the comments. I'm going to be arguing with World of Sport podcast, my favorite British podcaster. He knows so much about sports and we've become very close friends off camera. I sent him a message with who I had for my NBA MVP. He told me he disagreed. I said, don't tell me anything else. Send me an audio file and we're going to debate live on the show. His podcast is amazing. I'm going to put it in the first link in the description. You should definitely check him out. He has an awesome accent, so make sure to stick around to the end and comment down below who you agree with. Let's get into it. The MVP race is definitely heating up, and even though I could make a whole video on the award is flawed in so many ways, and Steph Curry has been going ballistic and would have a much better case for MVP if voters actually viewed the award as the most valuable player to a team, but that's not the case. So based on how the voters are, I do believe this is a two-man race, so I do have an idea of who Daniel is going to pick, but I am going with Joel Embiid for my 2021 MVP. Embiid has always been a spectacular player, but this year he's been on another level. His game has risen to where he was almost impossible to guard with one just defender on him. He is the modern day Shaq, not quite the size or as dominant as Shaq is inside, but he's able to space it out all the way to the three-point line, and the 280-pound 7-footer is hitting them at a 38% rate. He can face you up, he can actually break you down with his handles, his spins, and footwork. I never thought I would see a center this big, this athletic, and this skilled with the ball. And as I mentioned earlier, he gets double teamed all the time. So you can do some quick math. This is going to leave someone open. And this is a huge reason why the 76ers have had so much success this year. And Danny Green and Seth Curry get so many wide open looks. A lot of the time it's off the second pass too. So Embiid gets the hockey assist. So his stats don't even represent how much of an impact he has on the floor. This is why he has the highest PER in the entire NBA at the time this is being written. Well, let's look at his stats and see exactly what he's done. He is averaging 30 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists, 1.5 blocks, and a steal a game. It's kind of a double-edged sword playing on a good team. Numbers can be inflated when you're on a bad team because there's more shot attempts to be had, but you also get the brunt of the attention from the defense. But on a good team, you have to share the ball more, but other things also open up when you have an elite point guard like Ben Simmons and when Jokic had Jamal Murray. Even coming off an injury, Joel Embiid has, quote, reestablished himself in the MVP race, with Jokic being the favorite right now, but this injury shows me something that we would have never been able to see without this injury. We now have the luxury of seeing this team with Embiid with a 32-7 record and a lackluster 7-11 record with him off the court. That's a 38% win percentage, which in an 82-game season, they would have a 31-51 record, which wouldn't have made the playoffs in either conference the last full year of basketball we saw. This is very telling that this team needs their big man. Another thing that Joel Embiid has at a very elite level this year is he's able to get to a free throw line at a super high level. He is averaging 12 free throws a game. This is first in the NBA by far. He is almost automatic from the line this too, and as of recently, it almost feels like a guaranteed 2 points. He was even quoted saying, if they called every foul like they're supposed to, I would be shooting 30 free throw attempts a game. And although maybe a bit of hyperbole, he does have a point, and they have to give him contact in efforts to slow him down. Him and Zion Williamson are a league of their own with the most physically dominant players in the entire league. He just has everything offensively, down low, mid-range, three-pointers, getting to the line, but how does he compare to Jokic? Jokic is amazing in his own right, but he isn't the body Embiid is. He can't score quite like Embiid does or impose himself like Embiid can. Jokic is an amazing passer, so it actually does make up for a lot of other things, so you can argue that their offense might be a wash for these two, but I'm not conceding this argument. I am just getting to my main point. Because offense is so glamorous, it seems that most NBA fans forget that we are only 5 players on the court and they play offense and defense. This is where Embiid pulls away and is the clear-cut MVP in my opinion. This isn't football where you can just play one side of the ball. We don't criticize Tom Brady for how well he can tackle someone. So looking for a reference, we can actually use a football analogy and look at offensive guard in football. If we were debating who is the best offensive guard in the NFL, and we have 2 guys, they are both amazing, top of their game at pass protection, but one of them is a liability in the run game, but the other one is also one of the best run blockers in the entire NFL. Who would you take? Embiid and Jokic played very different games offensively and have equal importance on their teams offensively in my opinion, but Jokic is a liability on the defensive side of the ball. The Denver Nuggets do quite significantly better when he is on the bench on the defensive side, whereas Embiid is one of the best defending bigs in the entire league. This is where athleticism truly shines, and we can really appreciate how great of of a two-way player he is. This is why it was so hard to pick anyone over Giannis the previous years, because they had to be head and shoulders better than him offensively to account for how impactful he was on the defensive side of the ball. Joel Embiid is the 2021 NBA MVP, but that's what I think. I'm going to go send it over to Daniel and see what he has to say.
Firstly, before I begin my section, I just want to say thank you so much to my boy Jackson Gem Live for having me on the YouTube channel. I'm so grateful. It's been a long time coming, and I'm so grateful to be on here. But Mr. Jackson, Mr. Gem Live himself, I regret to inform you, you are wrong, my friend. Right now in the NBA, there's only one MVP. And he plays for a team named after my favourite McDonald's meal. That's right, Nikola Jokic of the Denver Nuggets. He's averaging 26 points, 10.9 rebounds, 9 assists, while shooting an incredible 56% from the field, 42% from 3, and 85% from the free throw line. Not only are those insane numbers, he's playing like the best centre, playing the second most minutes in the entire league, leading his Denver Nuggets to 37 wins in the tough Western Conference. I mean, I know that Gem Live is a genius, and that's probably why you're watching his channel right now. But sometimes, even geniuses get things wrong. Joel Embiid is certainly more talented and raw than Nikola Jokic. Without a doubt in my mind, he's definitely more talented. But if I was to choose one of the two to build a team around, you best believe I'm going with the reliable, the healthy, play-making beast who leads his team to wins. If Nikola Jokic can continue to win games even without Jamal Murray, who's had a great season at point guard, it cements his MVP year. He's been the best player on one of the best teams, and a guy that I am certain, if you took him away from the Denver Nuggets, they would fall apart. And I know people might say that, for example, when Embiid or LeBron have missed games, that they've proved how bad the teams were without them, which is true. Maybe less with Embiid than LeBron, of course, because Embiid hasn't missed as many games as LeBron. But the brilliant thing about Nikola Jokic is he doesn't give you the opportunity for that to happen. He's always there, always dominant, and he's always winning. He's like poetry in motion when passing, and yes, that might be the most British phrase ever, but I think you get the gist. They're now, I think, 9-1 in the last 10 games as of time of recording. They might have changed by the time this comes out. And that's even without having Jamal Murray in a few games, who's been fantastic, picking up right where he left off in the bubble. You see, Jokic picks apart defenses like a great quarterback, like a Patrick Mahomes. He's always looking through his options, trying to find space, trying to find points. Nikola Jokic does not care about stats. He cares about winning. An unselfish superstar is what you love to see. And that is no knock on the other MVP contenders like Dame, LeBron, and Joel. They definitely are not selfish. They are all incredible players. But for me, Jokic is outplaying every single NBA player this season. And he deserves MVP for being the most valuable. That doesn't mean he's the best. Please don't misread the label or what I'm trying to say, because he's certainly not better than LeBron James, for example. But to his team and the league, he might be the most valuable. Not just a better player than Embiid, but that's a completely different argument, but more valuable. Don't misread the label. But I suppose at the end of the day, it does not matter. I mean, you could call me a tea-drinking idiot if you like, but keep in mind, these are everyone's subjective opinions. There'll never be a right answer except for mine. So let's just enjoy these superstar athletes while they're still in a great place in a great league. Nikola Jokic is the MVP of the National Basketball Association. I love watching him play. I want to watch Nuggets games all the time because of this guy. Yes, he might not dunk. He can't dunk at all, really. But his aspect of the game, what he does to play make, to lead his team to wins, is exceptional. And he is deserving 100% of this MVP award. So thank you so much for having me on the channel. You must subscribe to him now because I said so, and I'm British, which makes me the Prime Minister of this YouTube channel. So thank you so much for having me on. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.
I'm in post-production now, and after hearing Daniel's takes, he makes a lot of good points, but it's actually up to you guys to decide. If he doesn't win based off of accent alone, let me know what you guys think. If you like this video, make sure to leave a like, make sure to comment down below what you think about the MVP race, and make sure to subscribe to this channel, and make sure to check out Daniel's podcast. It's going to be the first link in the description. I really appreciate it. Go check out everything. He talks about NFL, NBA, some cycling, and you can check out the podcast that I'm in if you want to watch those specifically. Have a great day. I'll see you all tomorrow. Peace.